Hey, hey, let's learn some stuff. So today we talked about genre, and there is the definition of it. Class or category of an artistic endeavor, having a particular form, technique, content, or time period. Make sure you write those down. Also, one thing I want to instill in your heads is this little factoid. Every story has a three-act: the introduction, the fight, and the result. And of the three main genres, the first we come to is tragedy. I mentioned in class about how that all started with the Greeks and how Aristotle narrowed down what tragedy is in the Poetics. Tragedy also indicates that we have a tragic flaw or a character with hubris, that means arrogance, and they're introduced in the beginning. And the other bullet points there, make sure you write down, as they are all elements and qualities of a tragic story. And the first thing I probably showed you in this class, having to deal with the genre of tragedy, was a modern day tragedy called Borrowed Time, which you should be able to find on YouTube. Go ahead and give it a watch. But if we're talking about classic tragedy, then you need to go no further than Romeo and Juliet, and you can pick any incarnation of that particular story. It all ends the same way. But as for the definition of tragedy, you might want to hit the pause button, write this down. It is a sequence of events that lead a character to the three Ds: downfall, disgrace, or death, which leads the audience to a catharsis or a purging of emotions. Next, we come to comedy. And comedy has, again, its roots in Greek theater. High on entertainment, low on message. I'm sure I told you some stories of some examples of Greek farce in class. Make sure you write down all of these bullet points. The goal of a comedy is simply laughter and distraction. And what I probably showed you in class was a clip from SNL, Saturday Night Live, of David Pumpkins. But if you're looking for a modern comedy, you need look no further than The Hangover. The Hangover doesn't ask like a deep question. The deep question is, where's Doug? Where did Doug go? And these three idiots go through hell and back to try and find out what happened to their friend Doug. And then in terms of definition of comedy, what do we have? We have a depiction of humorous actions that ridicule and laugh at human imperfections. Make sure you write that down. The quote there is simply for your benefit. In the spirit of comedy, here's a little joke. What does a duck put in their soup? Quackers. From comedy, we then go to melodrama, also known as epic. Aristotle called this epic. It was usually epic poems, but melodrama is basically your good versus evil story. And I'm pretty sure what I ended up doing was waxing poetic about how video games are an example of modern epic. And we love our stories of good versus evil because they give us the best possible worldview, which is good triumphs over evil, and evil gets its comeuppance. Definition of this is quite simple: a sequence of events that upholds the idea of poetic justice. And the example I'm pretty sure I showed you of this was a clip from the Witcher 3 video game, which is awesome.